You ever feel like with your horse that you're trying to do everything right? You're showing up, you're trying hard, you're applying everything that you've been taught along the way, yet something is still stuck. Something is not working between you and your horse. Maybe it's a trailer loading issue. Maybe there's lingering brace, whether it's on the ground or something going on under saddle where things just aren't quite clicking. And you know that you can get past it. You know your horse can get past it. You know that you've got more to give. But the question is, what actually gives? Like what actually is this going to take for us to get past? That's exactly what we're going to be digging into today. And by the end of today's episode, my hope is that you'll not only see the real reason that you may be stuck, but that you'll be able to walk away with a whole new lens to move forward with that. So with that in mind, let's roll. Well, welcome back to the Heart of Horsemanship podcast, y'all. And if this is your first time, I'm very, very thankful to have here. I'm your host, Colton Woods. And around here, we keep it real, we keep it raw, we keep it rooted in what actually works around practical approaches to horsemanship. And this show, y'all, is for the serious horsemen and women out there who know that a true partnership with a horse takes more than just technical training skills, okay? Because the better that we actually want to get at horsemanship, the more that we realize that we've got to get a whole lot better at more things far beyond riding. The more we grow personally, the more we grow professionally, the more we grow spiritually, the more that we can actually offer our horses in return. And it's about how we show up. It's about how we think, how we lead, how we're willing to do the work away from the barn so that we can show up better for our horses when we get back to them. So if you're the kind of person who's serious about getting better with your horse, you're serious about and willing to actually take action to grow into the kind of leader that your horse actually wants to follow, then you're in the right place. And hey, before we dive into today's show, this show is 100% free. It's for you. And the only fee we ask is that if you get something valuable out of today, share it with a friend, leave a review. That's how we keep reaching more folks who truly want to grow. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. So today's episode is something that I've seen in nearly every clinic I've ever taught and every training barn that I've walked into. It's a pattern where folks get stuck obsessing over the problem instead of asking, what would my horse need from me to solve it? And let's use trailer loading as an example because it's something that almost all of us can relate to, all right? And when someone calls and says, my horse won't get in the trailer, the first thing that I ask them is not, how long have you been trying to get him in the trailer? Or how big is the trailer, right? I'm going to ask them, hey, can your horse follow a feel on the end of that lead rope? Will your horse actually willingly yield to pressure without having an absolute massive mental breakdown? Are they emotionally regulated enough to actually make a decision and be able to focus on you? Because if those things aren't in place, then trailer loading isn't the problem. It's just the symptom. And here's the truth of the matter. When we focus too much on the symptoms, we miss the real opportunity to create the change. Now, let's talk about what that mindset cost us for a second, because I don't mean dollars, right? I mean progress. I mean potential. I mean peace. When you stay focused on the problem, you might feel busy, but you're not actually moving forward. And in horsemanship, stagnation doesn't stay stagnant, right? We're never staying still. Those moments, they turn into a brace. They turn into a horse blowing up. They turn into a horse losing trust, because if you keep hammering away at the problem instead of preparing your horse for what is actually required, and suddenly you've got a horse who's fried, who's anxious, who's mentally checking out. And when that happens, you don't end up just losing training time and skills. You lose the connection. You lose the confidence. And if we're really being honest, sometimes we as the person lose the joy that brought us to enjoy horses in the first place. And honestly, this doesn't just happen to beginners. Some of the best-hearted, hardest working, even sometimes the most talented horsemen out there all fall into this trap. Why? Because they care. They want to do what's right by their horse. They're trying their hardest to do their best. And they can see the potential in their horse. They can see what their horse is capable of. But in a given moment, in a moment in time, humans can lose focus. They don't even realize that a lot of times it's subconscious shift. They don't even realize that their attention goes to the wrong place, to the problem. And when your focus is in the wrong place, all the progress stalls. And a lot of folks, when they're running into an issue with their horse, they think that it's just a training problem. And they'll go seek out a professional. They'll come to a clinic. They'll say, I need help fixing the stop. I need help getting my horse to be softer through their body. I need my help to get better at this flying lead change or to get more engagement through their body, right? And hey, all those things are valid training needs. We help people with those things all the time. We help them in clinics. We help them in our Cavi community membership. We help people develop skills, right? We help guide the mechanics. A lot of times I say that you have to learn the mechanics before you can become the artist, right? That part matters. But what many horsemen discover along the way is this, right? And this is the real transformation, is that it starts with them. It starts with how we think. It starts with how we respond. It starts with how we handle pressure mentally and emotionally, and not just how we apply physical pressure, right? And if you're listening to this thinking like, dang, that's me. I do need help on the technical side, but I also know that it goes much deeper. You're not alone in this, right? Because when you really commit to getting better at horsemanship, it'll challenge you to get better at many other areas in your life. And when you start making those changes, when you start to see what the best horsemen actually do differently, some of the best horsemen I know, they're solutions focused. And here's what that really looks like. Solution focused horsemen, they don't avoid problems. They address them quickly with speed and clarity. They don't blame the horse. They focus on preparing the horse. And they don't obsess over every little thing that goes wrong. They focus on what they need the horse to do instead. And it's not about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about being clear. It's about being accountable and being willing to change yourself. What we do, how we do it, so that ultimately our horses can make those changes as well inside of them. Because you see, the solutions-based horsemanship isn't fluffy. It's not like this idealistic thing. It's not just about being positive and your horse will follow you around. It's high pressure sometimes. It's high responsibility all the time. And it's also the pathway for freedom for you and your horse. Because when you start to take extreme ownership of your time, of your tonality, of your timing, and even of your thoughts, that's when the horse really starts to look at you differently. That's when the partnership really starts to gain traction. And so the question is like, what do you actually do with all this then, right? And here's what I'd try to challenge you to try the next time you go with your horse. Catch yourself in mid-pattern. Next time something isn't working with your horse, maybe you're getting frustrated, maybe your horse is bracing up somewhere, maybe they're just straight up ignoring you. Before you react, pause and ask yourself, what exactly am I focused on right now? Am I focused on the problem or am I focused on the solution? Then with that awareness, I challenge you to shift your focus. Get clear on what you want to do. Not just on what you want the horse to stop doing, but that what success looks like in that moment. And then act like the leader. Ask for that with clarity. And once you do that, audit how you showed up. After your next ride, don't just evaluate what the horse did, right? Look at yourself. Did you escalate it? Did you hold a grudge? Did you stay calm? Did you correct the moment? That's ultimately real horsemanship. And then from there, do the work away from your horse. If your horse struggles with consistency, with boundaries, or with clarity, chances are somewhere else in your life, you're struggling with those things too. And if you start fixing those things, it will transfer to when you actually go to work with your horse. And look, this isn't about being perfect. It's about practical progress. The best horsemen I know, they're relentless about getting better. They take radical ownership over their thought processes and their actions, and they stay teachable. They don't quit when it gets hard. And if you're hearing this thinking, I want to do this, like this resonates, but I need help, I need support, I will shamelessly plug the fact that's exactly why we built the Cavi community, because it's for serious horsemen and women who want to keep learning, who are staying consistent, and who want to surround themselves with people that actually get it. And we build it for those who are ready to make a lasting change in their horsemanship. They're not just looking for a quick fix. That's not what we're about. And so I'll link that down below so that you can join us and check out the Cavi community. But I'll also put a link to my free ebook. It's called Be a Leader Worth Following. And if you resonate with this episode, you definitely want to get that. It's 100% free. Okay, I'll put it down below. And to wrap this one up, y'all, if this episode hit home, share it with a friend, leave a 5-star review, and make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss the next one that we've got coming out here in the next couple of days. So that's how we keep this mission growing and keep helping good horsemen become the kind of leaders that their horses can count on. And so I've dropped those links down below, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode.